welcome to the Sunday Standard News Review. This is a platform under which we put under the spotlight the big stories of the week. And this week we discuss Botswana's economic potential as the country recovers from COVID. We want to see possibilities, the potential, and where the pitfalls will be. And to discuss this particular issue, as usual, I'm joined by the business editor of both the Sunday Standard and the weekly Telegraph newspapers, Victor Baatweng. Good morning, Victor.
Thank you, Spencer.
We have seen that countries have already mapped their ways out of the COVID-19 and beyond, and they are trying to come up with clear roadmaps on how to achieve that. And the biggest backbone of all those is vaccine. The COVID-19 vaccine. How do you characterize Botswana's vaccine program thus far?
Thank you very much. I think ours is really confusing, and this comes in the sense that this on the surface it appears as if there's information coming out from government, but as a journalist, sometimes I feel there's little that is coming from government. For instance, the last time we heard about the vaccination was around Easter holiday, and that was the last time we heard, except obviously 2 weeks back when another consignment was arriving. We obviously the nation would also want to know what's going to happen with the cohort that was vaccinated around Easter holiday. Are they going to get their jab by next month or not? And then obviously, whether the procurement, the level of procurement, the information that was shared about a week ago in terms of what we have paid for, which was very good, which was helpful, and we also one would also want to know really what's the next, or when is the next date of vaccination, because we already have a consignment that came here, and we know issues of vaccine, issues of them expiring and the like. And that information, that is the one that you want to know about. The consignment is easily about a week or 2 ago. When are we getting people vaccinated and the like? So if we are vaccine, in all, information, bits and pieces high and high, and sometimes it's worrisome.
Yes, but there was a lot of excitement when Sinovac from China arrived, given the numbers. They were talking about 200,000 donated and another 200 purchased by the Botswana government. And that created excitement, given that quite a large number was going to benefit from it. How far do you think we are from at least getting into that particular program?
Yeah, that's the information that I was speaking about. For Ghana, we need to be told every now and then on what's happening. Yes. Is it an issue? Obviously, we expect when this vaccine they go through some testing, a bomber we have to give it cheap. Is it an issue about this issue about at probably it, or the issue logistics only? That's the information that when the task force team, particularly because they go to the national television twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays, they could use that that platform to actually share with the nation in terms of what's happening, rather than letting the nation be on the blackout.
Thank you very much. Let's look at the major economic areas that Botswana government has always relied on to carry them through. We can talk here about diamond sales. We can talk here about SACU receipts, for example, and also tourism. How does each fare beyond COVID, do you think?
Yeah, our chances even way before COVID were becoming slim. Already South Africa, which is the main contributor to SACU, had talks around the revenue sharing formula. They wanted it changed. And then when it comes to diamonds, for instance, we have seen that the millennials were going to synthetic diamonds, and we have seen that one of our partners, ABS, had put up a lab in US to actually do synthetic. And this happened just a few years before we could even start, or we could even go into a sales agreement with them. The next phase. And as you might know, Spencer, the deal could not be concluded by December last year. And we know that naturally those deals need to have even 2 years before the lapse of the current deal. But this time around, they couldn't do them on time. It's been postponed to until December this year. And as usual, the government is still secretive in terms of who is in our negotiation teams. For instance, we don't know who is negotiating.
Do you even have a hint of what the agenda is for Botswana government overall? What do they want to achieve from those very talks?
No, we don't, because it makes it very difficult. If you can't be told like who sits in Botswana's team, then to get information such as what do you really want, it will be very, very difficult. So that on its own, we know very well yesterday that a leading retail in America was saying that they are now focusing on synthetic, and they are leaving away the natural diamonds, which is our main point, which is really something that should get us one as a nation.
Then under those circumstances, can you try to paint a picture of how it might look like Botswana's potential beyond COVID? Any chances?
The potential is really, for me, is about transferring the ownership of business and market control into the hands of the locals. We are very lucky because our import bill has always been up, be it issues of agriculture, be it just issues of households, and simple things like meshes and toothpick, we still import them. So if we were to redirect our resources and ensure that we cut on our import bill, that's the only room that we have as of now.
Basically, you are talking about putting the money into the Botswana focus.
Yes, that's what we need to do. I mean, if for instance, we were to go back to 2020 when the government said they are issuing food packages to the locals. We could have used a situation where if we give a tender to someone to issue the tomato to a family, to a certain family, we also have an affirmative letter to them to say, on top of this money we're giving you to as a tender, and on top of that, put up a small manufacturing plant to do a tomato sauce. By now, we could be talking about a farmer in Mogapi having a tomato sauce manufacturing plant near their farm. That way, we would then stop importing tomato sauce from South Africa. But we find ourselves in a situation where we have not have anything concrete or any project that are ongoing. Each project that we say, because of COVID, we learned this, and now we have these projects ongoing, and this is the direction we want to go.
Let's talk about the practical chances of that happening. I think for now, you would agree with me that Botswana government is financially just too weak to carry out any big diversification programs to that effect, would you?
Yeah, but look, Spencer, we hear about money being given out. We heard about tenders being given out. If we were deliberate about it, we could be finding a way that, yes, the project, for instance, of making masks that we are wearing now, we could be having a huge project, maybe in Pico or Tonota or whichever place, this is the project is ongoing. It might not be functional now, but at a later stage will be in place. But now we find ourselves in a situation where the money is going, but you don't have anything tangible that you can say after a year or two. We are going to say this is a huge project that we have that is going to create jobs or that is going to create revenue for government.
And lastly, Victor, can you touch on tourism? What chances do we have tourism going back to the pre-COVID? And also on that note, can you talk also about the current fuel prices, how they are going to impact on the recovery of the economy?
Thank you very much. I know last week, BERA, the regulator, the energy regulator, had made indications that there's likelihood of fuel price going up again by at least $1, and that would be like the third increase in a very short space. That really harms people, farmers in the villages. It harms people who are in the city, who are commuting between the towns and cities to go to work. And for tourism, really, it's bad because for over the last 2 decades or so, we have relied on international tourists. The last year, we saw a huge decline in that. And in the early months of COVID-19, we had thought that the local tourist or domestic tourism could take over. And that was really possible. But the attempt was frustrated by the task force team, particularly when it comes to issuance of permits and restriction of movement. A lot of people had actually wanted to go and explore the country because by then they had money, but because of restrictions, movement restrictions, they couldn't do that. So that couldn't be fruitful. But now we are actually at a situation where even the domestic travelers, now they have cost of living is high, so they can't afford to actually travel. So the tourism really need to take some sort of miracle for it to come back as we are used to.
Thank you very much. Jane again. Thank you.